Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Theater Talks with Scott. I am here in New York City, and I want to tell you about the show I saw last night. So, when I was up here last spring, I think it was in 2022, there was this show playing at the public everybody was talking about. And I tried to get a ticket, and the day that I tried to go, a couple days I looked at, it was sold out. Well, thankfully, it has come to Broadway. It is now at the American Airlines Theater, which is right across the street from my hotel. I'm staying at the Hilton this trip, and it is Fat Ham. I saw Fat Ham last night, and y'all, I just, wow. Okay, so it's written by James Ijames. That's his name. James Ijames. And James James must have a really wild imagination. I was so excited about it. So basically, everybody knows Shakespeare's most famous play. Maybe many people consider it to be the best play ever, is the play Hamlet, because it has so much to say about our world, and it's still so relevant. It's as relevant today as it was then. So James uses the story Hamlet, the play, kind of as a guide for this play. But what's cool, because I've seen other adaptations, and not really adaptations, that's not the right word. I've seen other plays where people have taken Hamlet and tried to create another play that's very similar and use a lot of the same stuff and everything. And it gets very convoluted and it gets very confusing. And often it is just I remember seeing one eons ago and going, just tell your story and don't worry about Shakespeare's. He's already done it. That's what I feel this did. It's like James wrote his own story here and then said, and here's where we can bring in a little Shakespeare, and here's some relevance, and here's what's going on. So it's a black family that is set in the South. I gotta read you what he says in the setting, because it's very cool and very relevant and awesome for me being from Florida. The setting, a house in North Carolina, could also be Virginia or Maryland or Tennessee. It is not Mississippi or Alabama or Florida. That's a different thing altogether. The time. The American South, to me, exists in a kind of liminal space between the past and the present, with an aspirational relationship to the future that is contingent to your history living in the South. Okay, so we have the backyard of a black family, and there is a funeral wreath with a man's picture there. And on the other side is balloons that say, "Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs." And we meet Juicy, who is our Hamlet. Juicy, played incredibly by Marcel Spears. I mean, just phenomenal. And we get, again, and I'm so glad, a large black queer person in a main role on Broadway. There's just a segment that is not well represented yet, and barely represented at all. So it was fabulous to see this. And of course, the ghost, his departed father, who was killed in prison, because he went to prison because he killed another guy who had bad breath. And so the ghost comes back and says, "Your uncle, who is now your stepdaddy, arranged for my murder. So you have to avenge me." And it's a big confrontation scene, and a theme starts to emerge in that the ghost of his father says, "You're just so soft. You are not hard like a man's supposed to be. You're soft," and meaning you're queer. Well, part of the meaning. You can be queer and be hard. No jokes, okay? Just keep going. Anyway, So yeah, the rated R just flashed up. um, so his best friend is Tio instead of Horatio. It's Tio, who's really cool, played really well. Okay, I can't remember all the actors' names. Marcel Spears, I remember because I mean he was the main role. Um, but the kid that played Tio, Chris Herbie Holland, just phenomenal. In fact, later in the play, when because he goes away and then he comes back, he has a scene where he talks about being high and shooting Gingerbread Man in a video game. And I'm just going to say this, that scene is explosive. Now go see it and tell me what you think. There's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of fun in this. There is remnants of, and there's times that actually Juicy Spears goes into actual Shakespeare dialogue, and it sounds very natural, and it sounds very pertinent. But of course, it's all about his mama who's married this man, and the man killed his father. He's got the friends. One of his best friends that he grew up with is a soldier who's home, and his sister is Opal instead of Ophelia, and Opal is lesbian. I'm not going to give away some of the spoilers. I'm not going to tell you some of the ending. I just want you to know it's incredible. There is a moment because they work in a karaoke thing, because his mama loves karaoke and she does this big karaoke number dedicated to her new husband, and then demands that Juicy go sing a karaoke song, and he does Creep. And I think that is perfect for what would be the Prince of Denmark to sing. If you think about the lyrics and the words of Creep, it fits perfect. So an incredible play. It came in, I think, somewhere around 90 minutes. No intermission. American Airlines Theater is a very comfortable theater. I really enjoyed it. It's on 42nd Street. This play really... Shahim Ali is the director. And you can see the directing, the gentle wielding of the director's knife. A theater person can see that work in there and how cleverly they tell this story. It could be so easy to go too far. It really could. And I have seen it. I've seen it on Broadway. I've seen many productions that they're doing this campier thing and they go too far. And it ruins it. They really, Shahim Ali really very deftly trimmed this piece and made it work. And Ijames writing just brilliant with it. I cannot give it a higher recommendation. Please go see Fat Ham. It is a wonderful play. You will not regret it. It's an adult play. It has adult language. It has adult themes. You need to be prepared. There's a lot of homosexuality talked about. There is a lot of black talked about. There's a lot of realness talked about. We talk about pot. There's a lot of things. So be prepared. But y'all, it is worth it. Go see Fat Ham playing now at the American Airlines Theater. Okay, I have a lot more shows to share with you. I have selected all the rest of my tickets, and I am very excited to bring you more Theater Talks with Scott. Bye!